Beginner makeup tutorial. I wanted to do this a long time ago, but now it's happening. Starting with skin prep. I already prepped my skin and I'm going to show you guys what I use. You're supposed to use this at night, but I just use it during the day. Basically, radiance boosting oil. It has like essential oils and just give you that glow. Next is the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream. It looks like this. Super hydrating if you have dry skin. And last step to my skin prep is sunscreen. You cannot forget this. I don't really use primer, so let's just get into the makeup. This is something I have been doing for the past month, is to put lip oil before you apply makeup. So by the time you finish, you leave off with like that soft looking lips. I like to do my brows first before I even put on like foundation or anything. It's just gonna brush it upwards along your brows hair, let it sit and marinating for a bit. Then I brush it down. Okay, then I use the brush. This one is the Refi Brow Glue. This brush, it just works so well. I don't know why. I literally, the glue is ran out, but I just kept the brush. You're just gonna kind of like brush it down at the tail only. And then just shaping them however you want. The more you brush it down, the thinner your brow's gonna be. So for today, I'm just gonna do like medium thickness. So something like this. Okay, for the brows, I just love to use like any eyeshadow. For beginner, I feel like you can use any palette that you already have, whatever that has like your hair color or something. Before, like for my ginger copper hair, I use a lot of this Kylie palette because it has a lot of warm shades. But for my hair color now, this is the MAC Time 9 Semi-Sweet palette. I think like between either this and this and this, you know what I mean? And you can just mix them together. And I use like an angle brush like this. I'm basically just gonna fill in like my natural brows to make them a bit darker. Don't worry if you mess this up because you're just gonna clean it up after. And now you have that filled in looking brows. For the front, I just choose like lighter shades and just brush it upwards. Now I'm gonna take a concealer and start cleaning up these brows. I basically use the same type of brush as the brow. It's just a little bit thicker. Then you can start cleaning up these brows. Okay, this process is if you like that snatch looking brows, but if you want more natural, you can skip this part. I'm basically just cleaning the outside to make the edge look cleaner. Same thing on this side. You kind of have to have like a steady hand, but the more you do it, the more you will be good at it, you know? So just keep doing it. See how this side is a little bit thicker? You can literally just go in with concealer to make them look thinner. Okay, now that you have something like this, use a fluffy brush, like a small fluffy brush, and just blend out the edges. Okay, for foundation, I would go with like skin tint. Even for me now, I love skin tint. I think it just blend out easier, nicer. It's just better. I'm gonna use the new Hourglass skin tints. It's like 5 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Before, I used to just go in with like a sponge right away. Then I started using like a brush to blend it out first, and it just gave me more even coverage. This is from Makeup by Mario. And then I would go in with a sponge. Also, wet your sponge before you use it. It's just make it much easier to blend. Concealer, I like to apply it under my eyes. Just make 2 lines like this, and 1 on my chin and 1 here. Pretty much you want to highlight like the middle part of your face. And I'm just gonna blend it out with the sponge. Just tap it in, like don't drag it. Same thing on this side. For contour, like I think sticks are the best way to go for beginners. I like to contour my forehead because it's just big. Really just draw 2 lines for your cheekbone contour placement. So you're gonna look for that line. Like let's say mine is right here. You just drag 1 line. Okay, so I use this Refi brush to blend my contour for the past months, and it's literally like magical. It blend out really nicely. I just feel like this type of brush blend it out the best for contour. For your cheek, you're just gonna brush it up in like circular motion. Okay, for my nose, it has to be this brush. It's super easy to blend. You can see like I'm not even pressing hard, and it's just. And then I'm just gonna go in with a setting powder. This one is from Huda Beauty. It's like the most blurring setting powder ever. And then you're gonna take a powder puff. This is something that I started using after I watched TikTok, so it's really working really well. I'm gonna tap it on my hand first before I apply it on my eyes so that it applies evenly inside, and then tap it to the outside. You can use this edge to like shape your nose contour. Okay, while I let my setting powder sit in a bit, I'm gonna do my eyes. I use the palette that I used for my brows and just go in with this brown shade. A big fluffy brush will help blend it out nicely. So this is like an everyday eye makeup. Then I will go in with a similar brush, like fluffy one but smaller. Use like a darker brown to go in just my crease. Also, when you do your eyeshadow, you have to look kind of down a bit and then open like lightly so that you can go inside the crease. Okay, these are my two favorite brush to blend out like your setting powder. I like to just like tap it out instead of like dragging it, you know. For the front, you're just gonna brush it up. Okay, I'm gonna use exactly the same brush for my brows to create liners. I'm gonna rest your hand like a little bit below your jawline here and just start making a line. One line. Go in more if you want it darker. For the blush, this is my favorite palette. It has 3 different shades in one. Use like a big fluffy brush like this will blend out the best. Go in. Look at how pigmented this blush. Apply it just above the contour. I'm gonna use a little bit on my forehead and my chin. For highlighter, this brush is the best. Using Charlotte Tilbury powder highlighter and just go in the corner of my eyes. The nose, just one here. Brush it down. Lip liner, I'm gonna use the Rare Beauty one. It's really easy. Basically go along your lip line. I would go with like a sheer lipstick. This one is from NARS because you can use this over and over and you don't have to change it. That is the final look. I hope this helps. I've seen you guys ask me before and I just wanted to show you guys step by step. Bye.